If your intonation is still, it's probably not your ear, at least not just your ear. Intonation is actually multi-layered. There is pitch awareness, there's hand structure, and there's also shifting. And most of you are probably getting all three of them wrong. So let me just show you how to clean all of this up and why watching this video is just step one. I'm Schrello Classic. I teach cello professionally in London and to students online around the world. I studied in Stockholm and in UK and I perform regularly. So everything that I say in this video comes from the real playing world. So level one, awareness. The first layer of band intonation is awareness, and that breaks into two parts. Is your cello in tune? C, G, D, A. Use A442, use a tuner, use a teacher, use a piano, whatever you have. If you are very unsure, use a tuner to tune your cello. If your strings are off even a little bit, your whole sense of your tuning and your awareness will be a little bit off, and we don't want that. Also, bonus tip, use an app. Those work quite well as well. Second part, do you know what you're actually trying to play? If you don't know exactly where your finger's landing, if you know what note you're playing, what position you're in, what note you're leaving to go to, if you're just guessing that, that's a pretty big issue. And also, can you sing the note? Do you know what pitch you're actually going to reach by singing that note or humming it or whatever you want to do? You know, I'm not going to force you to belt out opera style note, but you can definitely just, you know, sort of find the note. You can sing it to a tuner as well, just to make sure. Level two, this is kind of the mechanical bit. Most people think that it's the finger's fault that we're out of tune, but it's actually your whole body and arm's fault for placing it there. So if your finger is off, your arm is definitely off. So the finger is a result of your arm and body. So you need to know how to leverage your arm and place it correctly, and to have a structure and an idea how to move around. You want to actually, when you travel on the cello in the shifts like this, you want it to actually fall down, and this hinge actually opens up for you to fall in a straight line. And that is the feeling in all strings here. So I'm actually on the C, facing the C string, on the G, facing the G string, and I would say facing, I mean the chest, and then the D, same thing there, and then the A, and the A is actually the hardest one. You can also use some of your fingers as anchor points. I'm not the biggest fan of this theory, but it works for some. And that is that you know, again, your arm has developed a system to place yourself correctly. And you start with your first finger to sort of find those anchor points, as people like to call them. I'm more of the school of thought that it's the whole positioning that will put your fingers here in place, but anchoring seems to work for some, as I said earlier. So first finger anchoring, knowing the note, moving to the next one, finding those anchor points, and then you could take it to the extreme and use your fourth finger as well for that. So in the same idea. Lastly, you can also video yourself so you actually get the hard truth of what your body is doing. Does it look like you actually have a system when you're moving around? Are you using the same movements when you're sort of traveling down the cello, or is it loads of micro movements? Same thing here when we're moving across the strings. We want it to be easy. We want the shoulders to guide your arm to the right string, so we're facing the right string. You get the idea. If it's a lot of this, chances are you're probably going to play quite out of tune. And the level three, or the third layer, the final layer here of intonation, is, are you actually committing to the note? This third layer is the shifts, and I see it so often that people are so stressed to move to the next note that they don't actually stay on the note they should be at long enough. And I mean, these are microseconds. So you put on that metronome, do a strong subdivision, and you really stay 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1. You know? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Because what happens is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then you sort of do that, and you definitely will miss. So you need to take off and know the anchor note and the drone note before you go on to the next one. And you have already sung the note you're going to shift to. So if you take an easy note like this from B to E, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's quite rhythmical. Or we can take a more harder shift with the C to A, And we're gonna actually count properly, so, and then sing it before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's calm and rhythmical, reaching it there. Cool. So to conclude that, if you don't hear the pitch you're going to before, you're just guessing to somewhere and then correcting, and then you sort of get that meow, meow. You get that meowy sound. And obviously you should use metronome when you're doing this, like making sure that you're staying long enough on the note before. You could also use different stops or like bus stops on the way where you're going, so you break down the long shift in maybe 2 parts, or just have an idea of how to place your arm exactly where you're going. And lastly, you use glissando to know where you are on the cello, so you sort of... right? So to conclude, it's the awareness, it's the structure, and the shifting in this layer of intonation. And if you're like most players, you probably get bits wrong in all of these 3 layers. But that's not your fault. That's just the reality of working alone and not working with someone and getting feedback. That's why I teach. In lessons, we tweak the habits that no video can see. Your hand shape, your shoulder tension, your pitch bias. So if you want to actually fix your intonation and just not watch advice, book a lesson with me. I work online and also in person here in London, and I help players rebuild their intonation from inside out. I'm Schrello Classic. Subscribe if you're serious. Email me to book a lesson at hello@schrelloclassic.com, or just comment down below and let's actually fix your playing. If you still wonder who I am and how I play, here are all these videos you can actually click on. That will show you enough.